disappeared. I didn't understand the word dead, not really. I just knew that one morning, my mother stopped singing. Her hands no longer braided my hair or touched my face. I asked where she was, and my older sister said, "She's with the ancestors now." That sounded far away. Too far. I didn't know where the ancestors lived, and no one could take me there. We were living in a village near Kampong Tom, though the word living didn't mean much by then. The Khmer Rouge had already taken everything: our rice, our house, our smiles. They made my father dig ditches and my brothers carry stones. They made people disappear. Sometimes quietly, sometimes with screams. The night we left, the moon was bright. My father told us not to talk, not even whisper. My younger brother, who was just 3 years older than me, held my hand tightly. My sister carried a cloth bundle of dried fish and rice balls. The group, we were about 50 people, moved like shadows, slow and frightened. My brothers stayed near the front with my father. I stayed in the middle, listening to feet crunching over dry leaves, the brush of pants against tall grass, and the breath of people who didn't know if they would ever breathe freely again. We walked for hours, then days. The heat was like a blanket we couldn't take off. Our feet blistered. Sometimes people fell behind, and sometimes they just never caught up. The place called Boulder wasn't a town. It was a crossing. A rocky stretch of land between Cambodia and the Thai border, where giant stones jutted out like broken teeth from the earth. The ground was sharp, and it cut into our souls. I cried quietly. My little brother stumbled and scraped his knee on a jagged rock. My father didn't say a word. His eyes were like dried rivers, empty, tired, but still moving forward. Every night, we slept under trees or inside shallow holes in the earth. No fires, no lights, just darkness, and sometimes the groans of someone too sick to walk anymore. I once woke up next to a woman who hadn't woken up at all. Her face was peaceful, her body still. My sister covered my eyes, but it was too late. I had already seen. It was during those nights that I missed my mother most. I would dream of her carrying water from the well, her hands splashing cool drops onto my face. In my dreams, she was always smiling. In real life, I had almost forgotten what her voice sounded like. We kept walking. Somewhere near the Dangrek Mountains, we heard the sound of gunfire in the distance. The group scattered behind thick trees. My father pulled us to the ground. I remember shaking so hard I thought my bones might fall apart. A woman screamed, not because she was shot, but because her child had run off in the panic. I never saw them again. That same day, we crossed through a field of bones. Real ones. Human bones, white and clean. Skulls with empty holes for eyes. No one said anything. We just walked faster. But I knew, deep in my heart, those people had once been like us. They had walked and hoped and suffered. And here they were, resting in the open sun. After 2 weeks of walking, our group had shrunk. Some had died. Some had disappeared. Some turned back, saying the Thai soldiers were shooting at refugees. But my father said, "We must go. If we die trying." We reached a clearing one afternoon and saw a wooden sign written in a language I didn't know. There were Thai soldiers nearby. Guns. Dogs. We stopped and held up our hands. My sister whispered to me, "Don't cry. They don't like crying." A man in a brown uniform pointed at my father and shouted. We didn't understand, but we didn't run. That saved us. After a long moment, a truck arrived. They loaded us into the back like cattle, but I didn't mind. We were finally inside Thailand. We were finally not running. They brought us to a refugee camp. I didn't know its name, but I remember the fences. Barbed wire curled like snakes on top. We slept in tents made of plastic and wood. There were thousands of people. Some had been there for months. Some cried, some prayed. It was there that I learned my name meant hope. My mother had given it to me when I was born. "Because you were born in darkness," my father told me, "but you carry the light." At night, I watched the stars and imagined my mother among them. I still cried quietly. I still dreamed of home. But I began to laugh again too. Small laughs when my little brother made faces, or when my sister told me stories about the sky falling and chickens ruling the earth. We lived in that camp for a year before a church group sponsored us to go to the United States. My father never spoke much again. My sister married young. My brothers worked in restaurants. And I went to school where they taught me English and how to write my name in cursive. But I never forgot. Not the stones, not the bones, not the hands that held mine, not the silence my mother left behind. Today, I'm older than my mother ever lived to be. I have children of my own now, and sometimes when I brush their hair or sing them to sleep, I hear her voice inside me, calm, strong. I tell them, there was a time when I walked through death and found life on the other side. And when they ask my name, I smile and say, my name was Hope, and it still is.